Hey guys, in this video, I want to show you how we managed to increase this Shopify store's conversion rates by 97% with new landing page. You can see we ran what's called an A/B/C test, where you have the control, that's landing page A, and that's what the client currently had. And then we have landing page B, which we created, and landing page C, which we also created. And we ran them all together in one test. We can see here that landing page B, which was the clinical landing page, we're going to call it, performed the best. Conversion rates went up by 97%, and revenue per visitor went up by 72%. You can see here conversion rates went up to 3.51%, which is pretty high on Shopify. So some amazing results here. And what I want to do in this video is just walk you guys through how exactly we achieved that. And hopefully you can take some tips and implement that on your Shopify store as well. So real quick, I want to show you what the old landing page looked like. So this was their old product page that they were driving traffic to. A pretty ugly product page, to be completely honest with you. To be fair to them, it did have a lot of good information on it. It was just presented in a hideous way, and the conversion rates here weren't like awful. It was about 1.8%, which isn't abysmal for a Shopify brand. But obviously we were able to do much better than that. This is the landing page that performed the best for them. So this is the landing page that we created. You can see just a lot of information about the product, but presented in an easily digestible way. A lot more social proof. We had a lot more UGC content on this as well. Some more visually enticing sections where it's like, if this didn't have the images and it wasn't laid out in the way that it's laid out, people just wouldn't read it. But now, because of the way it looks, people will pay attention to it, and they might not read all 4 points, but they'll read 1 or 2 points, and ultimately that helps with conversions. Comparison chart between why this product is better than other similar products on the market, some customer reviews, and then we go to FAQs, and then we finish off with some risk reversal, say a 30-day money back guarantee, and some other bits, and then we just have the footer. So this was a landing page that performed the best for this client, achieving conversion rates of 3.51% and increasing sales by basically 2xing sales, which is pretty massive. Now, what I want to do is, obviously this is great results and this is a big win, but what I want to do is highlight that whilst this is a big win and excellent results for the client, this is just step one. Once we have like a good foundation, once we've determined a base landing page that is performing really well for the client, we then want to go into some more testing. We want to go into an additional testing phase where we start to fine tune the landing page that is performing well. So what I'm going to do now is just pull up Microsoft Clarity. So for those of you who don't know, this is a tool that we use to determine how people are interacting with the web page. So you can see on the top left-hand side over here, I've got a tap map, a scroll map, and an attention map. The tap map shows me where people are clicking. Sometimes people will call it a heat map. The scroll map shows me how far people are scrolling. So you can see right now that's what I have selected. 100% of people see the top of the page, but then you'll see as time goes on, people start to drop off the further down on the page we go. And then you have the attention map, which shows you of the percentage of people that did actually get to a specific point on the page, how long did they stay there? Did they spend a lot of time looking at that section, or did they scroll straight over it? Sometimes that's called dwell time as well, just depending on what terms you'd like to use. So the first thing that I'm curious on right now is I would like to know when we start to have significant drop off on the page. So obviously above the fold, everyone sees that. As we scroll down, we see that only 50% of users actually made it to this point here where the buy buttons are. So that's made me a little bit of a concern. Maybe what we could do is put this these benefit icons on a carousel so that they're on one line instead of being on two lines. And maybe we could do the same for the benefits here as well, which will bring this section much further up on the page. There's maybe also a little bit of white space that we can start to remove here, just in between of the elements, not get rid of it completely, but just reduce it slightly, just to bring these buy buttons further up on the page. Because ideally we want everyone who lands on the page to see the buy button, whereas right now only half of people are actually seeing the buy button. So that would be a really small and quick fix that could increase conversion rates pretty significantly all over again. And this is where you start to get some crazy results where you see people achieving conversion rates of 5%, 6%, 7%. I mean, one of our clients achieved conversion rates of 14% on their Shopify store, and they did it at scale. It wasn't like they were doing $5,000 a month. These guys did about $160,000 in that month that they had conversion rates of, I think, 13.6%. So there's definitely a lot of value in this ongoing testing. Now, moving further down on the page, we can see the drop-off beyond the 50% mark is a bit less steep. So we're holding, and then we get to about 25% around here. So only 25% of people actually make it to the social proof, which again makes me question that maybe having this UGC content further up on the page might be worthwhile. But to verify that, I'd like to know whether or not that section, for the people that do make it to that section, has a lot of attention on it. So I've got the attention map here. So essentially, like the darker the color, the more likely that the more amount of time people have spent looking at that. So you can see over here, this is a very light blue, and session length is 1%, whereas this is a darker red and session length is 4%. So we want the darker colors here to just see where people are spending more of their time. And we can actually see that a lot of people don't spend that much time on this section. A lot of people don't spend that much time on the UGC content. So whereas I thought initially, okay, maybe this would be a good section to move further up on the page, it seems like people don't spend that much time on it. Now, if I switch to tap map, I'd also like to see if people are actually clicking on that section just to give me some data there as well. And again, we see, what's that? We don't see any clicks here. So people aren't even clicking on this section. So that means that this section itself isn't actually doing much for us. So I wouldn't be inclined anymore to move this section further up on the page because people who do see the section are not interacting with it. So let's reverse engineer that a little bit and let's see if we can find a section on the page that's maybe a little bit low down that most people aren't seeing very much. But people who do see it interact with it a lot, and maybe we can bring that further up on the page. So I come down a little bit further. How it works, people are interacting with. This not so much, this not so much, this not so much. It's after here. This has a lot of time spent. It's not loaded exactly, but it's the section just above the FAQs. So that is that's the review section. Okay, so if the review section is, that's funny then, isn't it? Because the review section is technically UGC content, and this is also UGC content. But the review section, we can see over here, has session length of 4%, whereas the UGC content has session length of about 0.3%. So the reviews are getting about, what's that, like 12, 13 times more session length than the UGC content. And so one thing I might just experiment is just swapping them around. Maybe we push the UGC content further down on the page, and then we bring the actual review section a little bit higher up on the page so that more people see it. Because if we switch to the scroll map, we'll be able to see how many people are actually making it to that part of the landing page. So in terms of people that actually make it to the reviews, it's only about 15% of people make it there. So if we were to swap it with this section, we'd increase that from 15% of people to 26% of people. So that's a pretty massive increase in the amount of people that would be seeing the review section. And if the data is right, it means that people that do see that session will react to it better. They'll spend more time on it. They'll click on it more. They'll interact with it more. They'll build more trust with the product, build more trust with the brand, and hopefully they'll make a purchase. So just by going through the data here, we've been able to come up with 2 different split tests that we can run. First is tightening up just above the filled section to bring the buy buttons much further up. And the second is swapping the 2 UGC content sections. Replace the video UGC section with the written review UGC section and push this further down on the page and just see if conversion rates increase there. So this is the type of thing that you guys need to be doing when you're reviewing your landing pages, just to see how you can continue to improve them. Because it's easy to sit back and say, look, we achieved 3.51% conversion rate, we doubled our sales, that's amazing, let's just leave it like that. But actually, you can achieve a 4% conversion rate, a 5% conversion rate, a 6% conversion rate if you keep iterating on those landing pages and pushing your overall conversion rate as high as possible. Now, right now we're running an offer. We'll build up to 50 landing pages on your Shopify store, and if your sales don't increase, then you don't pay us a penny. I'm going to link that down in the description below if you would like our help. Otherwise, I wish you guys all the best, and I'll catch you in the next one.